Hello, everybody! I know it's been a very long time since I've read from the tome of the century, Nighthawk, by Jamie Bastido, but I was looking at a certain picture on my wall, which is where is it? That one, which is all my Nature Alberta friends that I miss a lot, and so I thought that there's no time like the present to read Chapter 24 of Nighthawk, again by Jamie Bastido. Chapter 24, Captured, Calgary, Alberta. It's tearing me apart, all this zigging and zagging, up to the mountains, down to the prairies, back and forth through thousands of wing beats. That is a lot of work, I can imagine. That burning itch is hotter than ever, scorching my heart. Get to the tundra as fast as you can. But no, we can't risk it, it's too dangerous. Everything changed when Pivo popped out of the blue and landed right beside us. Even though we'd flown low to the ground, talked to no one, traveled mostly at night, I now understood a key flaw in our escape plan. Flying due north was too predictable. I figured that Pivo, fastest of the Guardians, had been sent to scout ahead. Her special buddy-buddy knowledge of Willow, and indirectly me, probably helped Flair figure out our route. Willow was as stunned as me to see Pivo, but she can't get her head around the fact that Pivo is part of a goon squad after our blood. So we have to keep Flair guessing. We have to fly this wonky route that no bird in its right mind would follow. None of us likes the idea, least of all Gonzo. "Weep!" he yells, as for the 10th time today I steer us on a ricochet course away from the mountains down to the prairies. You are beginning to really piss me off. Again, this is a children's book. You drag me on these wild goose chase so you can pick maggots off my body when I starve to death? Or smash into another giant chicken statue, I yell, dashing from side to side to confuse Gonzo even more. Or telephone pole, or mountain. How'd you like it if I stopped warning you about stuff like that? See how long you'd last. Yum, fresh maggots, here we come. Hollow popping noises shoot from Gonzo's beak. Oh yeah, chicken fart? Now I know that only local birds migrate. Willow squeezes between us. Would you guys stop your beak flapping? We're going to need all our breath to fly around that city up ahead. I open my beak to snap at my sister, but clamp it shut when I spot a bright orange halo on the horizon. What city? Calgary, biggest city on the Canadian prairies. Since nightfall, we've been flying much higher than normal to avoid the crazy wind screaming out of the mountains. I straighten our course and take us up another 1,000 wing beats to get a better view. What I see takes my breath away. It's like an ocean, Willow gasps. A huge, twinkly ocean. We're soon flying over wave after wave of orange lights. Wow, I say, that's a lot of humans. A lot of dumpsters, Gonzo exclaims. Let's dive in. I have to agree with Willow on this, I say to Gonzo. We'd be nuts to go through the town. But think of all the nice tidbits down there. Donuts and cookies, french fries and cheesies, and dogs and cats and raccoons to rip your head off, I say. Yeah, and humans with rocks and sticks and guns, Willow says. But I really like cheesies and zillions of buildings and towers and wires to crash into, I add. Gonzo falls silent. I feel a drop of water on my head, then another. I pull my eyes from the city lights. A mean-looking cloud is snuffing out all the stars. Usually I crave starless nights, but not tonight. This is not good, I say. A few more wing beats and we're flying through stinging rain. You may love junk food, but cities mean trouble, especially at night in crappy weather. Gonzo fades back, pretending not to hear. I try different altitudes, different directions, but find only more rain and more wind. The city lights give the cloud a furry orange look, as if some giant animal is trying to roll over and squash us. Hairy arms seem to sprout from the cloud. They wrap us in a tunnel of wind and shove us towards a blazing wall of skyscrapers. You change your mind so fast, Weemp? Looks like we don't have much of a choice. The trick will be blast through these buildings without getting scrambled alive. I'm scared, says Willow. I can't turn, I can't do anything. It's okay, I shout. This tailwind wants to screw us around. Don't let it. I can't fight it. Don't even try. Just go with the flow. Keep the back of your wings down. Flap only when you have to. Just steer, like we did in the Andes. Weemp, Gonzo shouts. I glance over both shoulders. I see a glint of reflected light from Willow's eyes, but no Raven. Where'd you go? I did not tell you, but it is hard to see your alive glow in the rain. When we get closer, right on my ass, both of you. We all tuck together in a ragged line. The rain bats us closer to the skyscrapers, the tops of which are now swallowed by the furry cloud. The lower we go, the more we get sucked into the insane brightness of the city. The rain bends and bounces the light all around us. My head feels like it could fly off. My newfound sense of direction is blown to bits by the wind. It's all I can do to stay aloft. In the thick of skyscrapers, I spot a circular tower with a red round cap. I'm close enough to see humans moving around inside. A little girl, her hands cupped against the sloped window, peers into the stormy night. I envy her safety and warmth. Weemp, what are you doing? Are you trying to kill us? That's when I realize I've been spinning around the tower. Why is he so dumb? Sorry. I straighten our course and shoot for a gap between two office towers. Bad decision. The gap leads to a canyon of mirror-glassed buildings. The light bounces around worse than ever. I can't tell the difference between thin air and plate glass. The pelting rain forces us deeper into the canyon, until we are almost skimming the roofs of honking cars and buses. That's when I see it. Another Nighthawk. In the blur of mirrored glass and flashing lights, I glimpse the perfect silhouette of a Nighthawk. The stranger flashes in and out of view. It's on my tail one moment and gone the next. We streak past a blinking sign that, for a wing beat, frames the bird in stark detail. My heart jumps into my throat. Gilded wing bars! As if knowing it's been spotted, the phantom bird vanishes. I dare to look over my shoulder. Just Gonzo and Willow flapping through the chaos. Did they see it? Did I see it? I peer at the glass whizzing by. Nothing. Look out! Willow yells as I fly straight for a streetlight swaying in the wind. I pull up at the last second, brushing the streetlight with my tail feathers. Smarten up, that was just a freaky reflection. Then I remember the wing bars. Just a trick of light on Willow's wings. I spot a gap in the buildings, like a cave stuffed with brightly lit trees. Humans sitting around below them, looking warm, dry, and safe. Over there, I shout, go for the trees! I'm too scared to look back to see if Willow and Gonzo are still on my tail. I take aim at the trees and tilt my wings for maximum thrust. I swoop so low, I startle a group of young humans rolling down the sidewalk on little boards. Oh, skateboards, as we may call them in human civilization. They throw their arms over their faces. Bats! One of them yells. I line up to blast into the lit-up trees. I don't care what's in there. All I know is it'll be better than this howling storm. The wind tries to push me past the trees. I fight it with all my might until my flight muscles burn. Just 200 wing beats to the trees. Weemp! 100 wing beats. Just follow me, I yell. Stay close. 20. Powerful talons clutched my chest, almost puncturing my lungs. I hang upside down, my head limp. I can't see my captor. The horrible rush of muscular wings, beating so close to my head, drowns out the wind, the traffic, even the frantic cries of my sister. Chapter 25. Tailed, Calgary, Alberta. I'm dimly aware of my captor, twisting and turning around buildings, streetlights, power lines. Then I hear shouting far behind me. Gonzo! Gonzo! Why is Willow calling for Gonzo? You let him go! What? So that's who has me in a death grip. Gonzo, I mumble, what are you? Shut up your beak, he snaps. Never trust a raven, so the blind thing was a hoax after all. I let my head flop backwards and see Willow pumping after us with all she's got. Gonzo deeks around a corner. Ack, 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 she screams. You come back here. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Who wants her to follow? Or is he laughing at her? What's going on? Willow wheels around, fights her way back upwind, and charges after us. We shoot out of the canyon of office towers towards a ribbon of darkness that snakes out of town. Willow finally gains on us and starts dive-bombing Gonzo's head. Let go of Wisp, you big bully. My gutsy sister. Hey, cheek on brains, are you giving me a headache? Drop him. Okay, if you say so. I feel his mighty talons release me and I drop like a rock into the black. It takes a moment to find my lungs again, my brain, my wings. I take a few feeble flaps and pull into a hover. What are you doing? Gonzo yells. These may not be a good time for a swim. As my eyes recover from the city's blinding glare, I make out the tree-lined banks of a river, a few wing beats away, my awkwardly hovering sister. You better keep working on that hover of yours, I say. Willow spins circles around me. You're not dead. Not that I know of, just got a little winded when a certain deranged raven attacked me. I lunge at Gonzo, who circles slowly above. What was that about, dumpster brain? I think maybe you should learn to say gracias. For almost killing me? Weemp, you almost killed yourself. How exactly? Like scrambling your brains on the human's glass nest? But I was going for that cave of trees. It seemed like a safe roost to wait out the... There were no trees. What? No cave either. How would you know? Gonzo flaps over to a cottonwood tree beside the river and lands on the highest branch. Willow and I perch several wingspans away. The whole tree rocks in the wind. You kept yelling about trees, Gonzo continues, but I did not see any inside. You mean, no, what you call loosey-goosey stuff, I say? Luz da vida, the alive glow? Nada, only humans inside. If you thought trees, they were falso. How you say fake? So what about the cave? Use your brain, Weemp. Do you really think humans would poke big holes in their fancy nests? I guess not. But maybe next time you could, warn me instead of bashing into me and squeezing me to death? I tried, but you are a pretty stubborn chicken hawk. Hoo-ha! And fast, you would not listen. I had to grab you before you clashed into the glass. I think you're faking this blind act, Willow says. We agree on that one, Willow. Gonzo turns and looks squarely at her, his eyes ablaze with reflected streetlights. Oh, so majestic. Willow puffs up her breast feathers. So, just how'd you zip around so fast around those buildings? That is simple. These big human nests, they are buzzing. You mean like a bug? I ask. No, chicken brain, they glow. But I thought you only saw living stuff. So did I, but think I am getting better at these. So what do you see? Gonzo looks up through the rain at the glowing office towers. It is not like luz da vida, not swirly and pink like in birds and animals. Whatever buzzes through these nests is fainter, mostly blue and green. Gonzo lifts a wing and moves it sideways then up and down. It runs in straight lines through the walls, the floors, all over, outside in the wires too. These I can see even in the rain. Electromagnetic radiation? The anger in me shrivels. We sit silently on the swaying branch, surrounded by roaring traffic and hissing rain. Gonzo faces the towers. I watch Willow, whose eyes are fixed on Gonzo. She still doesn't trust him. I don't blame her. I'm losing count, I say. Huh? Gonzo grunts. Of how many times you've saved us. Long pause. Gonzo shrugs. Yo tambien. Presumably that means you're welcome. I don't know. Another pause. Well, I say to Willow. She keeps staring at Gonzo, still really angry. He said, me too. Oh, okay. That's what he said. I decide not to mention the Nighthawk I saw in the glass. It had to have been Willow. Why get her more upset about nothing? Let's get out of this loony bin, I say. Bueno, Gonzo says. We launch 1, 2, 3 from the cottonwood and fly low over the river. This time, Willow sticks close to my tail. Gonzo brings up the rear, breathing down Willow's back. We fly until the city is nothing but an orange smudge on the southern horizon, until a crack of light to the east announces a new day, until Willow and I are flying side by side, half asleep. I have no idea where Gonzo is, and in my pooped state, I don't care. I first hear it high above the prairie farmland, as if in a dream. The staccato flap of another nighthawk. The sound folds itself into my drowsy brain. With half-closed eyes, I imagine flying over the bald tundra. Willow and Dad dip and dive around me. Our silent joy, our total freedom, lift me up, carry me higher and higher until I feel weightless and alive like never before. The staccato flap gets louder and closer. I open my eyes wide. Not tundra, but prairie. Not Willow, not Dad. I know their flaps like my own. Who? Before I can look over my shoulder, another nighthawk effortlessly scuttles up behind me. There's just enough dawn light for me to see the flash of gilded wing bars. My lungs fill with ice. Mind if I join you for a bit? The Guardian asks. Din 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 din. So that is the end of chapter 25. We have not so much to go. It looks like the last chapter is chapter 35. So we have 9 chapters to go. We're going to learn a lot, I assume. Maybe we'll make it to the tundra. Hard to say. Nighthawk. Bestseller. Make it into a movie. For sure. Definitely would watch this. It would be very confusing in a movie, I feel. Not just because it's a Nighthawk, but also because there's so much that happens, but also nothing that happens, and yeah. Should barely be a book. Okay. We're definitely going to finish this year. It's not going to take us the rest of vet school for me to finish this. So, yeah. Talk to you later.